In the heart of medieval Europe, at a time when much of the continent was enveloped in tumult and transition, a remarkable civilization flourished in the Iberian Peninsula. This was Al-Andalus, a beacon of learning, culture, and innovation that emerged under Islamic rule, and whose legacy reverberates through history, often overshadowed by tales of conquest and conflict. The untold story of Al-Andalus is a testament to the power of diversity, knowledge, and human ingenuity. The saga of Al-Andalus began in the early 8th century. In 711 CE, a Berber general named Tariq ibn Ziyad crossed the Strait of Gibraltar, leading Muslim forces from North Africa into the Visigothic kingdom that then occupied present-day Spain and Portugal. The swift campaign culminated in the fall of key cities, and within just a few years, most of the Iberian Peninsula came under the rule of the Umayyad Caliphate. This new territory was named Al-Andalus, and it would soon become one of the most vibrant centers of the Islamic Golden Age. Al-Andalus was not simply a land of conquest. It was, above all, a crucible of cultures. Here, Muslims, Christians, and Jews lived side by side, their lives interwoven in the bustling markets, winding streets, and grand halls of cities like Córdoba, Seville, and Granada. This coexistence, known as convivencia, was never perfect nor absolute, but it fostered a remarkable exchange of ideas, languages, and traditions. Córdoba, in particular, rose to prominence as the jewel of Al-Andalus. By the 10th century, the city's population rivaled that of Constantinople and Baghdad, with its skyline dominated by the Great Mosque, an architectural marvel whose intricate arches and serene courtyards still inspire awe. But Córdoba's true glory lay not in its buildings, but in its intellectual pursuits. The city became a magnet for scholars, poets, scientists, and philosophers from across the Mediterranean and beyond. Under the enlightened rule of the Umayyad dynasty, especially Abd al-Rahman III and his successor Al-Hakam II, Córdoba blossomed into a center of learning. The city boasted libraries that housed hundreds of thousands of manuscripts at a time when the largest libraries in Christian Europe counted their volumes in the mere hundreds. The caliphs invested heavily in the translation of ancient texts, preserving and expanding upon the works of Greek, Roman, Persian, and Indian thinkers. Here, Aristotle and Galen mingled with the insights of scholars from Damascus, Baghdad, and Alexandria. Among the luminaries of Al-Andalus was the polymath Ibn Rushd, known in the West as Averroes. His commentaries on Aristotle shaped not only Islamic philosophy, but also the foundations of medieval Christian thought. Averroes argued for the harmony of faith and reason, inspiring generations of thinkers. Meanwhile, Jewish scholars like Moses Maimonides penned treatises on medicine, law, and philosophy, bridging cultures and faiths. Science flourished in Al-Andalus, driven by curiosity and a spirit of inquiry. Astronomers mapped the heavens with unprecedented accuracy, developing instruments and methods that would later fuel the European Renaissance. Mathematicians expanded upon the concept of zero and advanced algebra, while chemists experimented with distillation and metallurgy. Physicians wrote encyclopedic works on anatomy and disease, centuries ahead of their European counterparts. Music, poetry, and art were woven into the fabric of daily life. The haunting melodies of the oud and rabab echoed through palaces and gardens, while poets composed verses in Arabic, Hebrew, and the local Romance languages. Stately palaces like Medina Azahara rose just outside Córdoba, their shimmering halls adorned with intricate mosaics and fountains that whispered of paradise. Trade and commerce made Al-Andalus a crossroads of the medieval world. Its ports buzzed with merchants from as far as Africa, India, and the Viking North, exchanging goods, ideas, and customs. The agricultural innovations pioneered here, irrigation systems, new crops, and advanced techniques, transformed the landscape, making the region one of the most fertile and prosperous in Europe. Yet, the golden age of Al-Andalus was not only defined by achievement, but also by resilience and transformation. The political landscape was ever shifting. As the power of the Umayyad Caliphate waned, independent taifas, small kingdoms, emerged, each vying for dominance. Despite the turbulence, intellectual and cultural life continued to thrive, often fueled by rivalry and ambition. The interplay of faiths in Al-Andalus was nuanced and complex. While Muslims constituted the ruling elite, Christians and Jews played vital roles in administration, scholarship, and the economy. Laws fluctuated between tolerance and restriction, yet many periods saw remarkable freedoms. Jewish communities in particular experienced a renaissance, producing statesmen, poets, and scientists whose works would later influence both Islamic and Christian worlds. This spirit of openness extended to architecture and urban life. The legacy of Al-Andalus is etched in the ornate horseshoe arches of the Alhambra in Granada, the lush gardens of Seville's Alcázar, and the maze-like streets of Toledo. These cities became living testaments to the fusion of Roman, Visigothic, Islamic, and local Iberian influences, a legacy visible even today. The decline of Al-Andalus was gradual, marked by internal strife and the relentless advance of Christian kingdoms from the north. The Reconquista, spanning nearly 8 centuries, slowly eroded Muslim control. Granada, the last bastion of Al-Andalus, fell in 1492, the same year Columbus set sail for the New World. With its fall, a remarkable era came to an end, and much of its history was obscured by the tides of time and the narratives of victors. Despite its eventual demise, the legacy of Al-Andalus endured. The scientific, philosophical, and artistic achievements of its scholars seeped into Europe, fueling the Renaissance and transforming the trajectory of Western civilization. The works of Averroes and Maimonides, the innovations in astronomy and medicine, the poetry and music, all became part of a shared human heritage. Today, echoes of Al-Andalus can be found in the words we speak, the music we play, and the gardens we cultivate. Its story is a reminder that greatness often flourishes where cultures meet, where curiosity is cherished, and where diversity is embraced. The untold history of Al-Andalus invites us to look beyond the conflicts and divisions of the past, to celebrate the enduring power of knowledge, and to seek inspiration in the remarkable achievements of a civilization that once lit the world. In remembering Al-Andalus, we honor not only the scholars and rulers, but the countless artisans, merchants, and ordinary people whose lives shaped a golden age of tolerance, creativity, and progress. Their legacy is a living testament to the heights humanity can reach when we build bridges rather than walls, and when wisdom is allowed to blossom in the fertile soil of shared understanding.